Hey guys, I'm Makai Block with Limitless North, and today I want to talk with you about the concept of working smarter and not working harder. Now, I know you've heard this statement numerous times in life. You probably have ways you apply it in your own life, but I want to give you some food for thought that you may not have considered yet at this point. So there's this phrase that I've been telling myself over and over again, which is, don't ever work harder than you think. And I know that's a bit of a confusing phrase. Don't ever work harder than you think. What do I mean by that? Well, the reality is, as I've gone into my journey of entrepreneurship and owning businesses and working hard and personal development and really trying to find and define what success is to me and reach that next level of life, I've realized a lot of things about the way that I used to work. And I used to think that working hard would take me the distance. I grew up obviously hearing work smarter and not harder, and yet I never really knew how to apply that to my life, and I kind of shrugged that statement off because I didn't know what that meant specifically to my situation. And so I just assumed, you know what, no, I'm gonna work incredibly hard at what I do. I have a passion, I have a purpose, I know where I wanna go in life, and I'm just gonna work as hard as I can and put in enough effort and work at it long enough that I'll get exactly where I want to in life, and I'll get what I want out of this situation. But that was the wrong way to think about it. I kind of just avoided this idea of thinking on better ways to work. Now, another trap that we can fall into is just thinking that we always want the shortcuts. We always want the most simple way to get somewhere. We don't want to put hard work into it. We just want things kind of handed to us and, oh, we deserve success and this and that. The reality is it takes a very beautiful mix of thinking and working hard, and obviously I hope you understand that. I hope that you know that any amount of success is going to take a great deal of effort and massive action on your part. We all know the secret. We know this idea of the law of attraction. If we want something, it'll come to us. Well, there's probably truth in that in a lot of ways, but we have to make sure that we're looking at it in the correct way, from the correct perspective, not just sitting around hoping and wishing and wanting, because that gets us nowhere in life. The reality is that we need to hope and want and wish about what we want specifically. We need to have an idea of what we want. We need to try and attract that into our life, but we need to put the effort back of it to get where we want to go. And so this idea of working smarter and not working harder really plays into the concept of thinking about what you want. Have you ever read the book Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich? If you haven't, I would incredibly urge you to dig into that book. Get it, sit down with it, read through it, journal about it, think about it, and just really learn to apply that to your life, because the concepts in there can absolutely change the way that you work. And really the title says it all, Think and Grow Rich. It's about this concept that we must think about what we want in life. We must idealize where we're trying to go, and we must visualize success so that we know what we're going after. And if that consumes our thoughts, if it consumes our pursuits, and we know exactly where we're going, we have this clear idea and vision of it, then we can get where we want to go by working towards that specific vision, the ultimate definite purpose. You see, our thought processes, our ability to control our thoughts, our ability to problem solve, our ability to imagine and use imaginative thinking and create things is what sets us apart from all the other animals, all the rest of creation. God has given us the ability to think, the ability to comprehend, the ability to dream and imagine and visualize and idealize, and then work towards that. And if that's the one thing that sets us apart from the rest of creation, then maybe that's the one thing that we should really pay attention to how we use in our life. How do we control our thoughts? Where do we direct our thoughts? What are we imagining? What are we envisioning? What are we creating with our thoughts? You see, most people don't think. Most people go through life working hard with their nose down, their face down. They're just grinding away at something. They kind of have a purpose, or they have a job and they feel like it's their job to do their best. But they never create that vision for themselves of what they want their life to be like. They never use their cognitive abilities to imagine, to dream up, to create the ideal life for themselves that they can put all of their effort back of and work towards. And that's what I want to talk with you about, is work smarter, not harder, right? But you do have to work hard once you know where you want to go. The working smarter part is really how our imagination, our vision, our cognitive thinking, our problem solving plays into that ideal life that we want to create, or the obstacle that we want to get past in our pursuits right now. You see, with our thinking, we can get past just about anything in life if we can find a way around it through our thoughts, through our imagination, through our creativity. And then you put the effort and the action behind that plan, and you execute it, and you get to where you want to go. And so, as I said, I always used to work so hard at what I wanted, and I just thought that was going to go the distance for me. And I would hear work smarter and not harder, but I would just push that aside in life because I was going to brute force it. I was going to put in so much effort, so much action. I was going to work so hard and get where I wanted. In college, I would pull all-nighter after all-nighter after all-nighter, and I would almost pride myself on my work ethic of being the one that stayed up as many days in a row as possible and, put so much effort into something to get it done. I was balancing being an honor student and running a business and doing ministry and all sorts of things in my college career, and I just wore myself so thin. And I'm kind of proud of that. I enjoyed those years. I enjoyed working that hard, but the reality is if I could have just backed off a little bit and put more thought into what I was doing, put more focus into where I actually wanted to go, then I could have better directed those efforts. And all that massive amount of work and effort and toil and sweat that I put into the stuff I was doing could have been directed to much higher goals. And it could have got me so much farther in my life and in my business, and it could have got me so many better and different results than I got. And so now I have this saying that I keep with me as I've discovered this throughout my journey of personal development and running multiple businesses and working incredibly hard in so many different areas of life. I've come to realize, don't ever work harder than you think. So I don't ever want to work harder than I'm willing to work on thinking. So if I notice that I'm putting an incredible amount of effort into something and I don't have any time in my life because I'm so focused and just grinding away at something, now I take some time to step back and think, am I taking time to really discover where I'm going with all this action and all this effort? Do I take time and set it aside to just sit and think and be creative and use my imagination to problem solve and push me farther into the future and think about where do I really want to be with all this work that I'm doing? And so I would encourage you to do the same. By doing that, you pull away from that hard work, you pull away from just tunnel vision on one thing, and you're able to say, all right, am I directing all my efforts in the right direction? Because, we can use this example of long distance. If we are just putting all of our effort in one direction, we're going to go super fast and super far. But if we're even 1 degree off from where we're supposed to be headed over a long distance, over all that effort that we put, we could end up miles away from our real destination that we wanted to be at. So you have to constantly course correct. So as you go through life and you're putting all this action and effort into it, and if you're the type of person that finds yourself to be an incredibly hard worker, that's great, and I commend you for that. But make sure you take some time to course correct. You take some time to back away from that hard work. Take a breath, take a deep breath, and sit down in quietness and stillness with a pen and a paper and imagine and idealize and think about what that action and that effort is creating for you. And are you maybe a couple of degrees off from what you really should be doing? Because we can get so caught up in the menial tasks of life. All these things that keep us so busy, the busy work, the tedious things that don't really produce the greatest results for us. And so when you take time to sit down and step back and think and imagine and idealize and create for yourself new paths and new directions for where you really want to go, you realize that that effort could be better put towards some other major purpose that may be just a little different than what you thought before, because you learn things as you work hard, you learn things as you move forward in life. So you want to take that new knowledge coupled with your effort and course correct little by little until you see that you're going in the absolute direction of your ultimate definite purpose. I hope that makes sense to you. If you have any questions about this, I'd love to delve deeper into it and help you discover how to really think in the midst of working hard. Because you don't want to just get caught up working hard. You want to be able to think and use your highest ability, your highest creative ability that has been given to you, which is your ability to imagine and to dream and to think and to problem solve. So make sure you're putting that above your work ethic. Cattle work hard. Cattle and horses work way harder than humans do, right? But they don't have that same ability to think and process as we do. And so we want to make sure that we're not just workhorses in our life. We want to make sure that we're not just putting effort into everything. We want to make sure that we're putting effort into the right things, the specific things that are going to drive us to great heights in our life and to great success. So step back, and I encourage you just to think, to create in your mind the ideal life that you're going after, the ideal situation, the ideal business. What does your business look like that you're working so hard on? If you were able to put a little effort into thinking about what's the next level of that, and don't just work on the day-to-day tasks, don't just work in your business, work on your business is another great way to say that. Make sure that you're working on your business more than you're working in it. Because if you don't work on your business, you're never going to develop into what you want it to be. If you're just working in it, you're going to be grinding away as a workhorse and not getting those giant leaps and bounds that you're after. And the same is true with life. If you're just bogged down by life, take a step back and think, what do I want my life to really look like? And how do I put all my effort into creating that beautiful image of life that I want? Not just this constant effort towards whatever comes my way, whatever demands are put on my day-to-day life. So I hope that inspires you to think, to create, to imagine, and to work harder on your thinking than you do on your working. So don't ever work harder than you think. And maybe that's a better way to say it than work smarter and not harder. Because if you're like me, you can shove that saying aside and just focus on your hard work without ever taking a deep breath and a pause to look at what you're creating with all that effort. So if you have any questions about this, again, I'd love to break it down a little bit deeper with you. Leave some comments in the questions or in the comment section below. Leave some comments or questions and engage with me on this channel. I'm building this channel so that I can have a community of people to find success with, to inspire, to be motivated with. And I would love for you to be a part of that. So thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and give the video a like if you enjoyed the content, if you got anything out of it. And I would also encourage you to share the video with your friends. Put it on your social media if you were inspired by this so that somebody else can also be inspired. And together we can build this amazing community that is Limitless North. So thank you again for watching. I'm Makai Block, and I will see you on the next one.